figure out why Jerry is a little bit hesitant to jump back into the trading pool. But he has to hope someone is going to call because he seems to think they're in position now to make a move in the NFC. Here he is from yesterday, 105.3 The Fan in Dallas, on whether or not his Cowboys are in the upper echelon of the NFC along with teams like the 49ers and the Eagles.
Well, we belong in the upper echelons. I'm not going to say that we belong on the field with San Fran, and we haven't played Philly, but but I'm anticipating Philadelphia being what they look like. And so I don't want to go that far, but we're in the upper echelon. I would have liked to have played better against the 49ers and, of course, watched with interest this entire weekend's games, but certainly that one last night. And you see that it's a team step up there and play like Minnesota did, their quarterback did. But there can be had, the 49ers I'm talking about.
Wow. Would you have imagined 2 weeks ago, after the 49ers completely dismantled, embarrassed, and humiliated the Cowboys, that the owner of the team would be saying the words, the 49ers can be had?
No. 42-10, no. They were not in any way, shape, or form in that game at all, ever.
And remember what Deebo Samuel said after there was some chirping, because Micah Parsons reacted to the George Kittle shirt, and Deebo Samuel said, next time it might be worse. Look, yes, the 49ers destroyed them that night, and in the immediate aftermath, we all assumed if they got together again, the same thing will happen. Monday night's game proved that there are certain circumstances where the planets line up just right, and the better team doesn't win. That's one of the things I love about it. Just as we start to think everyone is settling into their lane, you get disruption like that. You get other upsets. Well, the Browns beating the 49ers fell into that category as well. We've had 2 straight weeks where the 49ers are the better team. The 49ers clearly should have won the Browns game. Jake Moody, rookie kicker, third rounder, 41-yard field goal. You got to make that kick. Make that kick, they win the game. The other night, it was the quarterback that let them down a couple of times with the game on the line. 2 interceptions when the 49ers could have pulled it out. But they can be had. Now, will they be had when January rolls around is a different issue altogether. And that takes us to the current DraftKings Sportsbook odds to win the NFC. They have been reconfigured a bit in the aftermath of the Week 7 games. 49ers were plus 165 to win the conference championship, the George Halas Trophy that goes along with it. They are now, courtesy of DraftKings Sportsbooks, at plus 200. So they've dropped a little bit. The Eagles have climbed from plus 310, about 3-1, to plus 240. And there are the Cowboys, 5-1. Lions plus 5,500, 5.5-1. And look at the drop. The bettors and the odds makers, because these bets are influenced by where the action is, who's making the bets. The bulk of the wagers, Charean, clearly on 49ers, Eagles, Cowboys, Lions. Your next team after plus 550 at the Lions is the Seahawks at 20-1. And the next one after that is the Rams at 40-1. Are you kidding me? So the collective wisdom of the gambling community has decided the NFC champion is coming from the 49ers, Eagles, Cowboys, Lions. And it's kind of hard to dispute that right now.
Yeah. I totally agree. It's one of those 4 teams more than likely, and that should be your final 4. As you said, it's a week-to-week league. We don't know what's going to happen between now and the postseason, and you get in the postseason, and we always see upsets. So the chances of those 4 teams being the final 4 teams probably are not very good, but I like the chances of one of those teams winning the NFC this year. I don't think there's anybody beyond those 4, Mike, that I would bet on right now.
Can we put that graphic back up? I'm looking for a bargain. Not that I'm inclined to wager. We can't. I don't think we can. It doesn't matter to me. I don't need to know the NBC rules on what we can and can't bet on because I don't bet on anything, so it's not relevant to me. But I'm looking for anyone beyond those 4 teams that I would feel good about. And, hey,
Right.
you know, the Vikings may change people's opinions because they have a softening of the schedule all the way through Week 14. Every game they have is winnable. Now, the Falcons are at the same level as the Vikings, plus 4,500, and the Falcons host the Vikings in a few weeks. That's the toughest game for the Vikings between now and Week 15 when they travel to Cincinnati, and then they play the Lions twice in the final 3 weeks. But the Vikings could maybe get towards Seahawks territory of 20-1, but even then, I don't think anyone, unless the Lions fall apart and the Vikings go on like a 6-game winning streak, the Vikings aren't going to invade that top 4. I think that's a fair representation of where the NFL has been, where it currently is, and where it likely will be when we get to the last 4 teams in the NFC. I would expect it's going to be, barring, like a fluke outcome in the wild card round, the divisional round is going to be 49ers, Eagles, Cowboys, Lions, and we'll see who's playing whom and where, which will be important, especially for the Lions, frankly. They need to try to pull the number 1 seed out of this so they don't have to go on the road with Jared Goff playing outdoors. But I think it's going to be those 4 teams.
I think the odds are against it being those 4 teams in the Final Four, but I do think one of those teams will advance to the Super Bowl. I don't think there's anybody outside of that Final Four. I think there'll be an upset at some point, yes, in the postseason.
Well, think about the wild card round. One of those 4 teams that we saw is going to be the number 1 seed, right? It would be a major shock if one of them is not the number 1 seed. So they'll be in the Final Four of the NFC. The other 3, 2 of them will have home games, most likely. Again, unless the Lions fall apart. The Lions will have a home game. The winner of the NFC East will have a home game if they're not the 1 seed. The other team is going to have to go on the road. That's the team. Whoever doesn't win the NFC East is going to be the team that is vulnerable because they're going to have to go on the road. But where are they going to go? They're going to be going to play the NFC South champion. So Eagles at Falcons, Cowboys at Falcons, or Eagles at Bucks, Cowboys at Bucks. Unless I could see I could see the Lions get upset at home potentially, like Seahawks Lions. We already saw that movie in week 2. But I agree with you. We can't just assume that the chalk is going to prevail in the wild card round. All it takes is 1 game, and it disrupts that Final Four. But those are going to be the 4 teams in position to get to the divisional round, and we'll see how it goes. Don't forget, on DraftKings Sportsbook this season, new customers can bet $5 and pocket $200 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, all customers can get a no-sweat same-game parlay every day. Download the app and use the promo code PFTLive when you sign up. DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours. We got to take a break, but I just saw MDS text WOW to the PFT text chain. So there may be something big that's happened. I'm intrigued. I'm going to look and see. We'll have something for you next here on PFT Live. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.